My family treats my home like a free holiday hotel. Now they're furious I won't host Thanksgiving anymore. I never thought I'd be dreading Thanksgiving this much. What used to be my favorite holiday has somehow morphed into this annual ordeal that leaves me feeling exhausted, taken advantage of, and honestly, a little bitter. My name is Sarah, and for the past 5 years, I've been the designated host for our family Thanksgiving celebrations. When I first volunteered to take over from my mom, Julie, I was excited about creating new traditions in the home my husband Mike and I had just bought. Now, I find myself counting down the days with growing anxiety, wondering how I let things get so out of hand. It started innocently enough. The first year I hosted, everyone seemed grateful and pitched in here and there. My brother Tom's kids, Mason and Emma, were younger then, 6 and 4, and actually kind of cute running around the house. My sister Rachel even helped with the dishes, though she spent most of the time complaining about her latest boyfriend drama. Mom was mom, but she limited her critiques to the turkey's doneness and my choice of centerpiece. But something shifted the second year. Maybe it was because the first year went so well, or maybe everyone just got too comfortable. Tom and his wife Lisa started arriving 2 days early, claiming it was easier with the kids. I didn't mind at first. I love being an aunt, and I thought it might be nice to have extra time with them. What I didn't expect was for my house to transform into some kind of unlimited stay holiday resort. The problems really started snowballing from there. Rachel, who had just gone through a messy breakup, decided she needed a change of scenery and started showing up early too. She'd camp out in our guest room, leaving wet towels on the floor and coffee cups scattered around the house. She works remotely as a social media manager, so she'd set up her office on my dining room table, spreading out her laptops and planners everywhere, making it impossible for me to set up for the actual holiday. Then there's Mom, who seems to have forgotten that she passed the hosting torch to me. She arrives precisely 24 hours before Thanksgiving, armed with her own roasting pan and a list of suggestions longer than my grocery receipts. Last year, she actually replaced my carefully planned table settings with her own, saying my modern dinnerware lacked warmth. I found my plates stacked in a cabinet, hidden behind rarely used serving bowls. The thing is, it's not just about the holiday anymore. It's become this weird power struggle where everyone seems to think they have some sort of claim on my space. Tom's kids have basically designated the upstairs guest room as their personal playground. They've left permanent marker on the wallpaper, jumped on the bed until the springs squeaked, and once managed to clog the toilet so badly we had to call a plumber, on Thanksgiving morning, no less. When I tried to talk to Tom about it, he just shrugged and said, "Kids will be kids, Sarah. Remember how we used to be at Grandma's? But we were never like this at Grandma's." I distinctly remember Mom making us sit quietly and help with small tasks, like polishing the silver or folding napkins. Now, Mason and Emma treat my house like an indoor playground, with Lisa barely looking up from her phone as they race through the halls. Last Easter, yes, they've extended this behavior to other holidays too. They actually used my good guest towels to make a rope bridge between the bathroom and their bedroom. I found out when I heard a crash. They'd pulled the towel rack right out of the wall. Rachel's not much better, though in different ways. She's developed this habit of borrowing things during her stays. My favorite sweater mysteriously ended up in her suitcase last Christmas. My expensive face creams seem to diminish rapidly whenever she visits, and I once caught her trying to pack up one of my throw pillows, claiming I had mentioned she could have it. I hadn't. The Thanksgiving prep itself has become increasingly chaotic each year. While I'm trying to coordinate dishes, timing, and oven space, everyone else seems to be actively working against me. Mom hovers constantly, adjusting the temperature on everything I cook and adding seasonings when I'm not looking. "Just a touch of sage, dear. You always forget the sage," she'll say, even though I've never forgotten the sage. I just don't use as much as she does. Last year's tablecloth incident was particularly infuriating. I had pressed it that morning, but between setting up appetizers and managing the chaos of everyone's helpful suggestions, it got slightly wrinkled. Mom waited until everyone was gathered in the kitchen to announce, "Sarah, honey, we simply can't serve Thanksgiving dinner on a wrinkled tablecloth. What would Aunt Patricia think?" Aunt Patricia, mind you, hasn't visited for Thanksgiving in 3 years, but somehow her hypothetical judgment required me to stop everything and iron the tablecloth again. The actual meals have become a blur of stress and forced smiles. Everyone has their specific demands. Tom's kids won't eat anything green, Lisa's suddenly gone keto, Rachel's alternating between various trendy diets, and Mom insists on having both sweet potato and pumpkin pie because that's how we've always done it. Never mind that I'm the one making both pies from scratch while everyone else watches football or scrolls through their phones. The aftermath is even worse. Last year's pie incident was just the tip of the iceberg. What I didn't mention was that Mason and Emma didn't just eat the leftover pie, they had an entire feast in the middle of the night, pulling out all the leftovers and leaving half-eaten portions all over the kitchen. They even spilled cranberry sauce on my new rug, and no one bothered to clean it up. I found out when I came down to start breakfast and stepped in something sticky. During the cleanup that followed dinner, I watched from the kitchen as my family made themselves comfortable in my living room. Rachel had claimed the entire couch, scrolling through dating apps and occasionally showing Lisa potential matches. Mom was supervising from my favorite armchair, pointing out spots I'd missed on the dishes while never actually getting up to help. Tom had fallen asleep in front of the TV, and his kids were building some sort of fort using my decorative throws and accent pillows. Mike, my sweet, patient husband, just kept washing dishes beside me, occasionally squeezing my hand under the soapy water. He's been my rock through all of this, but I can see it wearing on him too. Last year, after everyone left, he found his grandfather's vintage records had been used as frisbees by the kids. He didn't say anything, just quietly put them back in their sleeves, but I could see how much it hurt him. When I finally reached my breaking point this September and announced I wouldn't be hosting, I thought I was being more than reasonable. I gave them plenty of notice and offered multiple alternatives. We could easily go to that nice restaurant downtown that does a beautiful Thanksgiving spread. Or rotate houses. Mom's place is actually bigger than mine, and Rachel's too small apartment is perfectly adequate for our family of 8, 9 if you count her latest boyfriend, who may or may not be in the picture by November. But instead of understanding, I got guilt trips and manipulation. Mom started calling every other day with updates on various family members who were so disappointed in my decision. Aunt Patricia called, she'd say, though I doubt she did, and she just couldn't believe you'd abandon the family tradition like this. Never mind that this tradition is only 5 years old and started because Mom decided she was too tired to host anymore. Rachel's taken to posting passive-aggressive social media updates about family values and generosity, which would be funny if it weren't so irritating. She even started a family group chat called Save Thanksgiving 2024 where she shares photos from previous years with captions like "Remember when we used to be a close family?" The photos, notably, never show me stressed out in the kitchen or cleaning up after everyone. Tom's strategy has been to use his kids as emotional leverage. He sent me a video of Mason and Emma looking sad and asking why Aunt Sarah doesn't want us to come over anymore. The fact that they were clearly reading from a script, probably written by Lisa, made it more manipulative than touching. Besides, the last time they visited, they used my good serving spoons to dig holes in the backyard, claiming they were on an archaeological expedition. As the holiday approaches, the pressure keeps mounting. Yesterday, Mom called to remind me that she still has my grandmother's gravy boat, the one she generously let me use when I started hosting. Her tone made it clear that my hosting duties and access to family heirlooms are somehow connected. It would be a shame if it had to stay in storage this year, she said, as if my grandmother's gravy boat was some sort of hostage in this situation. The family group chat has become unbearable. Every few hours, someone shares another memory or photo from previous Thanksgivings, always followed by a sad emoji or some comment about broken traditions. Rachel's latest contribution was a collage of photos titled "The Last 5 Years of Love and Family," conspicuously excluding any images of the mess they left behind or the chaos they created. Mike suggested we turn off our phones and take a weekend trip over Thanksgiving, just the two of us. It's tempting, more than tempting, really. There's a lovely bed and breakfast a few hours away that's still taking reservations. We could have a peaceful dinner, watch the sunset from the porch, and not have to worry about anyone critiquing our tablecloth or raiding our fridge at midnight. But then Mom sent another message, this one a photo of me as a little girl, helping her make stuffing in her kitchen. "Remember when family meant something?" she wrote, and I felt that familiar guilt creeping back in. Tom quickly chimed in with, "The kids are already talking about helping Aunt Sarah in the kitchen this year, as if they've ever helped with anything other than creating chaos." Now, with just a day left before Thanksgiving, I'm sitting here staring at my phone, watching the group chat notifications pile up. Each buzz feels like another weight on my shoulders. The last message was from Rachel. I guess I'll just order takeout and eat alone in my tiny apartment. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, crying face, as if she couldn't just as easily host or chip in for a restaurant meal. Part of me wants to stand firm. To finally set boundaries and show them that I'm not just the family doormat who can be guilted into submission. I've already told my local friends I'm not hosting this year, and they all supported my decision, sharing their own stories of family holiday drama. One even offered to let me join their Thanksgiving if I needed an escape. But another part of me keeps thinking about those early Thanksgivings at my house, before everything got so complicated. When the kids' laughter was actually sweet rather than stress-inducing, when Rachel's drama was entertaining rather than exhausting, when Mom's criticism felt more like guidance than judgment. When did it all change? And is refusing to host really going to fix anything, or just create a different kind of tension? Mike just walked by and saw me writing this all down. He gave me that look, the one that says he'll support whatever decision I make, but he really hopes I'll choose peace of mind over family obligation this time. He's right, of course. He usually is about these things. But as I sit here, watching the group chat explode with more guilt-tripping messages and manipulative photos, I can't help but wonder if the drama of not hosting might actually be worse than the drama of hosting. The irony isn't lost on me that I'm spending the day before Thanksgiving stressing about Thanksgiving, whether I host or not. Mom just sent another message. I'm going to the store, Sarah. Last chance to tell me if you need anything for tomorrow. As if she's already decided I'll cave. Rachel followed it with a photo of herself looking forlorn in her apartment, caption reading practicing for my solo Thanksgiving. Even Tom, who's usually less dramatic, shared a video of the kids making turkey hand drawings with Aunt Sarah's house or bust written on them. I glance at the bed and breakfast website still open on my laptop, then back at my phone where the family chat continues to buzz with guilt trips and emotional manipulation. The decision I make in the next few hours will either set a new precedent for family boundaries or maintain the chaos of the status quo. Either way, I have a feeling this Thanksgiving is going to be one for the family history books, whether we're all together fighting over my wrinkled tablecloth, or scattered apart, nursing our various grievances over separate meals. Maybe next year we can try that restaurant idea. But who am I kidding? In this family, tradition only counts when it's convenient for everyone else. For now, I need to decide if I'm ready to deal with the fallout of standing my ground, or if I should start ironing that tablecloth Mom's so worried about. The clock is ticking, and either way, I have a feeling I'm not going to get much sleep tonight.